Hello and welcome. Very good afternoon. You're watching Mirror Now. I am Afrida Rahman Ali. The Indian Express has reported today about Chinese government using a data firm to keep a close watch on several Indian personalities, as many as 10,000 Indians, including personalities from politics to business to judiciary to media, sports person and even crime accused are being tracked by a big data firm linked to the Chinese government. Among the people on the radar of the firm are President of India, the Prime Minister, cabinet ministers, opposition leader, key bureaucrats, CDS Bipin Rawat and many more. And not just these personalities, but their families are also being tracked. The data firm, in fact, has created overseas key information database that includes data like this apart from entries from other countries as well. This database, using advanced language targeting and classification tools, include hundreds of entities. So this is a huge database that is being created by a major data firm linked to the Chinese government. Let's go across to Apurva Sridhar, who will tell us about the firm, which is called Zhenhua Data. What does it do? What is the level and extent of access that we are talking about here? Zhenhua Data Information Technology is clearly in the eye of a storm. Yes, Apurva, if I can come to you for an understanding of this particular firm that we are talking about, what exactly does it do and why is it worrisome?
That's right, Afrida. So the Zhenhua technology company that we're talking about, and the reason why is it in the eye of the storm, let's first understand the background of this company. Now, this company is called the Zhenhua Data Information Technology Company Limited. This is a Shenzhen-based technology company. This was registered back in 2018. What we also know of this company is that there are at least 20 processing centers that have been set up across the countries at this point. Now, this particular Zhenhua company also claims to be linked with the Chinese government and the military as some of its clients. So this is going to be extremely crucial because it also says that there are Chinese government and the military, the Chinese military, which are its clientele at this point. And also the company has been taken down, the company has took down its website on September 9th. Right now, so the company website is no longer accessible. So this is a bit of a background about the company, which is the Zhenhua Data Information Technology. Now, why it is important and why it is creating a stir is because of the kind of data that it has collected. As you pointed out, there are over 10,000 Indians who've been constantly monitored by this particular data company. Now, what it has essentially does is it has collected massive, humongous amount of data, and it also offers something which is called as a threat intelligence service. Not just that, it constantly tracks the digital footprint of the key personalities. Now, in the list that you mentioned several important names like the president, the prime minister, several state cabinets, important eminent personalities from various fields of sports, from the industry, being thought leaders. So we're looking at people cutting across several lines, several spectrums where their digital footprints are being monitored by this company. And it also then creates, with the digital footprint and the information that it collects, it creates an information library using multiple sources. Then it collects media reports, it also collects official documents, and these documents that it collects, the data is also being collected on the relationship between people and the institution. So we're looking at the kind of surveillance, we're looking at the kind of data that it has collected. It's a huge amount of data that has been collecting, and we're also looking at the different valuations that it has, whether it is in terms of relationship between the person and the institution that he or she represents. So that is essentially what the Zhenhua Company Limited does when it comes to collecting the kind of data that it has been over almost 10,000 people at least that we are now aware of, at least in India.
Yes, that's a very clear understanding that you are giving us, Apurva, with a very simple explainer on what this firm does. It's called Zhenhua Data, that is actively involved in tracking certain personalities and also, in a way, building what is called threat intelligence, is what Apurva was explaining to us. Let me go across to Pavan Dugal, who's a cyber expert, joining me now on the phone line. Good afternoon, Mr. Dugal. The important question I want to ask you is that the information that is purportedly being collected, the threat intelligence, so to speak, how damaging can it be? Because at one level, if I may ask you, that if information which is already there in public domain, is that what is accessed, or there is something more to it beyond that which should be worrisome for the Indian establishment?
It's not only the public information that's accessed, which in any case is available to everyone. It's the metadata. It's the digital footprinting which is more important. Ultimately, they want to capture all the details that have been embedded in the said public messaging, whether in the form of location, other metadata, so that if you can do an appropriate machine learning analysis of the metadata, along with the information that's available in the public domain, you can get a much better clarity as to what specifically is the picture emerging. Now, already China is concerned because the data stream that was going from India via the Chinese apps has now been stopped. Therefore, now the need for focusing on the Indian influencers, so that they know fully well that 75% of Indian influencers are not very tech savvy, and therefore they're not much familiar of how the digital footprinting as a paradigm effectively works. So they're able to collect this information. And mind you, the Chinese government itself doesn't get its hands dirty. It gets Chinese companies to do that and relies upon China's national cybersecurity law to actually force all these Chinese companies to go give all their input and output back to the Chinese government. So ultimately, it's a broader game plan of hybrid warfare that's happening, where here they're focusing on Indian influencers. They've mapped India remarkably well. They've understood India does not have a dedicated law on cybersecurity. They've recognized the fact that India is a leaking ecosystem, and therefore infiltrating the said leaking ecosystem is going to be easy enough. And now, by targeting Indian influencers, including political figures and including other social figures, it's getting very, very clear that they want to get as much information as possible so that this information can be analyzed using machine learning so as to ultimately target and prejudicially impact Indian sovereignty, security, and integrity. This is in addition to their military exercises and the military activities that they're doing on the border per se.
You made a very important point. I want to ask you to explain to us a little bit more in terms of what you're saying here. You're literally telling us that there is an attempt to infiltrate into India's digital ecosystem, and therefore this is some sort of a hybrid warfare. In that sense, would it amount to using this information for some sort of tactical maneuver? Are you suggesting that this is indeed something that India has to worry? And to what extent can this be restricted? Because the jurisdiction, insofar as privacy is concerned, can it extend to a foreign nation?
No. The Indian laws cannot have extraterritorial jurisdiction, even if we may give them on paper. On reality is, in practice, they don't work. So I think we have to start quickly realizing that how best can we start protecting the Indian sovereign interests. So the Chinese approach has been pretty focused. They've been focusing on the government specifically. When you look at this broad list that's emerged, it's very clear that government officials, the president, the prime minister, people in the judiciary, even in the media are now being targeted. They want to get the holistic approach as to what's the emerging thought process within India, so that they can effectively try to go ahead and fine-tune their response mechanism targeting at India. Now, there's nothing that India can do outside India, but yes, India can do a lot of things in terms of first recognizing this as a big challenge. Number two, today, Indian government can come up with rules and regulations under Section 87 of the Information Technology Act 2000, specifically stipulating the various rights, duties, and responsibilities of various digital stakeholders, specifically the influencers, in terms of what do they have to keep in mind when they are doing digital activities. Fortunately, with the majority of Indian influencers not being very tech savvy on the technical nuances, the chances of their data being potentially mapped up, including their digital printing, and thereafter using it against India, cannot be ruled out. Ultimately, we have to strengthen the ecosystem. And as far as the leaking ecosystem is concerned, merely banning the Chinese apps would not suffice.
Right.
The Chinese mobile phones are the biggest threat that India is facing. All this data from the Chinese mobile phones are going back to China. Further, a lot of Chinese-made CCTV cameras are installed both in governmental premises as also in private premises. They're also constantly beaming data back to China. So China is actually laughing all their way back to the bank because they've got so much streams of data coming in. India has only blocked one stream, which is the stream pertaining to the mobile apps. I think we need to do far more. We need to recognize that this is now going to be a permanent feature. And the quicker we start coming up with effective response mechanism in defense of this hybrid warfare model, the better it will be. Further, India does not have a dedicated cyber army in place. So we don't have people who can on a 24/7 basis go ahead and target the Chinese networks in the similar manner that they are doing. I think we need to understand that we have to talk to China in the language that they understand.
Right.
And if they understand this hybrid warfare language, India has to pull up its socks, come up with effective...
Yes, some very valuable points there. Yes.
So
right.
clearly
I
that
take
work will
your
have to be
point, Mr. Duggal, and this is, of course, extremely important to underline that, yes, that we need that kind of an effective response system, perhaps a 24/7 cyber army is what Mr. Paval Duggal is telling us. And at the same time, there must be a recognition that there is a challenge that the country is facing here. The laws we have here do not extend to China, but clearly there's a targeting of social media influencers and trying to map the prevalent narrative. The emerging thought process is being closely watched by China. Thanks, Mr. Pavan Duggal, for joining us with your inputs. We, in fact, also getting to know now that the issue has stirred up strong political reactions, with at least 2 members of parliament giving a notice in the floor of the House to discuss this issue. Let's listen into some of the political reactions coming in on this.
देखो, बात तो गंभीर है, मैं नहीं मानता, लेकिन सभी देश, बड़े देश एक दूसरे के ऊपर ऐसी निगरानी रखते हैं। अब चाइना के प्रधानमंत्री जब हमारे देश में आए थे और अहमदाबाद चले गए थे और झूला झूल रहे थे, तभी यही चल रहा था, तभी यही निगरानी रखने की उनकी बात चल रही थी। लेकिन अब जब हमारी दुश्मनी बढ़ गई अचानक से, तब ये बात सामने आई। लेकिन जब दोस्ती का हाथ बढ़ाया था हमने, तब भी यही काम चल रहा था। प्रधानमंत्री या रक्षा मंत्री अब इस बारे में क्या बयान देते हैं सदन में, तो देखना पड़ेगा।
I think the fact that they're looking after the details of 10,000 Indians shows that it's not a small thing. It's a fairly heavy, deep data mining operation. We'll have to see. Of course, we support the soldiers on the border, but the government is accountable to Parliament to tell us what's happening. When have they actually reported to us on what's happened, what the talks between the defense ministers, the talks between the foreign ministers, what they've accomplished? The nation needs to know, it will be taken into confidence by the government. That's about it. As far as I'm concerned, the question of support for the military is beyond debate. We are very strongly with our army.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बोला है कि जो हमारी सभी डिफेंस के जो हमारी सब आर्मी है उनके साथ हम खड़े हैं, क्योंकि चाइना का गड़बड़ कर रहा है और चाइना को सबक सिखाने के लिए हमें मतलब जवानों के साथ का खड़ा रहने की आवश्यकता है। सारा देश उनके साथ है, प्रधानमंत्री और हम सब, हमारी जो सभी लोकसभा, राज्यसभा और पूरा देश उनके साथ है। चाइना नजर रख रहा है, लेकिन हमारी भी नज़र चाइना की तरफ है और चाइना को सबक सिखाएंगे हम।